We're downtown, or just south of downtown at Roosevelt, Michigan. Coming from the south, we're going to take a left onto Roosevelt. This is our tour of the Union Row Townhomes neighborhood. And while we're a couple blocks from the development at the moment, the reason for that is that I think a lot of people who don't know about Union Row or who come and visit Union Row have no idea what they're positioned relative to in the city. The amount of retail that's come here has been really dramatic. We're going to come up in just a couple seconds on Clark and Roosevelt, where we have the latest Target that I know of that was built in the city. This was one of the first major retailers that had moved in and has started the real recreation of Roosevelt Avenue, which is, if not one of the busier streets in the city now, slated to become one of the busiest. So you've got a brand new Target here, interesting urban Target, multiple level store. Not your typical Chicago style retail place, but used by people from the South Loop, West Loop, Pilsen, all the areas around here. Immediately west of that, we're coming up here on the Roosevelt Collection, which is a mixed-use development of residential and retail, looking for an opening of a brand new movie theater there shortly. Now
within the month.
Within the month is the latest. Now we're getting some of the views of downtown to the north. These are consistent with the views out of many of our townhomes. Which brings us over to the corner of Canal and Roosevelt, which is one of the, again, more amazing areas of change down here. You can see the Whole Foods. The Whole Foods is backed up by LA Fitness, Panera, other retailers. If you scan to the south, Best Buy, Home Depot, Dominic's, Walgreens, Staples, all of the things that people look for right now in terms of support of where they're living, and things that I like to talk to people about in terms of the other well-established neighborhoods in the city that everybody is so familiar with. There is little differentiation here at 1200 South than there is at 1200 North. There are vast differences between the two areas. From a retail perspective and an urban lifestyle perspective, there are a lot of similarities. You can't say they're equivalent. That would be a stretch. But there are a lot of similarities. So we're coming up now to Halsted, Roosevelt, and up in the distance is St. Ignatius High School. So again, giving people a little bit of a reference point to what's around in terms of longer term thinking. If you are a family looking to relocate, St. Ignatius is absolute top-notch school in the city. I think, Joe, you were saying you know something more than I do.
Selective admission, I think there are years when it turns out as many National Merit Scholarship finalists as New Trier High School, so it's a good school. Certainly
well known in the Chicago area. To the north here, this is the southern boundary of the historic UIC campus, although several buildings to the south of us, including all the land that was redeveloped that we're going to drive through, was formerly theirs. And again, there's a certain vibrancy here that I think people are just not aware of. There's been an incredible amount of redevelopment right here, notwithstanding what we just drove through in terms of retail. But we're about to drive through down Halsted. The University Village complex is astounding. This was absolutely burned out, underutilized area for years. Most known for the Maxwell Street Market that was centered right at this light at the corner of Halsted and Maxwell. And one of the more striking planning things that was done recently was to mandate the reuse of all of the historic facades here on the east side of Halsted and running down Maxwell Street, and the creation of really a neighborhood here that was not here before. There was simply nothing here. So you now have this as a spine, I would say, of the neighborhood, a kind of core that radiates from here. The retailers that have come in recent years have seen this as a demonstration of real solid roots taking place. This is not an area that's waning. It's still evolving and evolving more and more each day. We're passing now under the Metra train tracks. It's actually a combination of freight and commuter rail. And effectively here are in the Pilsen Arts District. The next several blocks combine a great deal of history of the art scene in Chicago, and are known in these parts certainly for the landlord that owns most of the buildings on this stretch, the Podmajersky family, and many of the things that they've done here to embrace the arts. So you've got galleries, restaurants, many different things that are very lively. The second Friday of every month they have an open studio. Lots of people come from various parts of the city. You've got new restaurants opening up. We'll drive by in a moment. Nightwood, which is the most recent addition to the neighborhood, upscale American eatery, owned by the same people who run the Lula Cafe in Logan Square, which many people know for its fine food and eclectic atmosphere. But again, more telling is that people are bringing things to this neighborhood that were never here.
I think what impresses me, because I've been behind many of these facades, is just how creative the spaces are back here. There are interior courtyards and gardens, and I mean, it really is a spectacular explosion of the arts to be seen behind many of these bland facades here.
Oh, absolutely. The Podmajersky spaces are widely known in certain circles, and are really dramatic in many ways. Some incredible live workspaces, things you don't find, and it's wonderful that there's been such an embrace of the arts, and something we've supported, something we've worked with while we've been working on our project down here. We're coming down Rubel at the moment, which leads back to the Union Row Townhomes, which is effectively what we're trying to position today relative to the surrounding area. Again, there's so much here that's within just minutes of the site. Coming up on 18th and Rubel, we're gonna take a right, take a look at one of the other incredible assets that's now part of this community.